Hello everybody and welcome to my first early access video of the Anderson DLC. Now I do want to do a stream very soon of showing all these things in action, but first I just want to give you a quick tour and a very quick demonstration of just a couple of these. In this video we're going to be using the Biobaler, which is over the far side there, and also one of the extractors over in the grass field to do some silage bale wrapping. To kick things off in this quick tour we have the Anderson M160. This is of course a log grab, so you can move your logs with this, and just to show you very quickly in the store as well, you can see that it costs £19,000. There are no modifications, so you can't change the wheel type or anything like that. It is just as it comes basically, so that's there for moving logs about. We then have the first of the extractors, which I always have found very impressive. This is the FS19, and this one can only do round bales. It can only wrap a round bale, whereas the other one, which we're going to come on to in a minute, can actually do round and square bales. So that is probably the one of choice if you have two different bale types. But yes, obviously these things, although seem impressive, don't actually have very big engines. In fact, I think it's something like 18 horsepower. Notice the lovely single cylinder petrol engine, I think it is anyway, just tucked behind here. It's actually 13 horsepower, so even I overestimated it there, but you can change the foil colour, you can go between those four, and also it is £30,000. Changing the foil colour does not affect the price, as you can see. We then have the Anderson Pro Chop 150 bale shredder, and it does have a capacity of 2 bales. It does physically look quite small, but as you can see, capacity 2 bales and 80 horsepower is required to actually power this thing. It costs £37,000. Next up we have the hybrid extractor. So this is the one which can do 2. I'm guessing that's why it's a hybrid, because it can do square and round bales. But obviously with this comes a much higher price and also a bigger engine. Let's just see if we can see the engine tucked behind here. There you go. It does look very similar, but it is actually 20 horsepower. Oh, and it does actually have a top speed as well of 3 miles per hour. You can just move it about nicely. £34,900 it costs, so yeah, a bit more than the previous one. But just to demonstrate this, there you go. You can manoeuvre it. You can also hear the nice purr of the single cylinder petrol engine. We then have the first of the 2 mixers. This is the A700. Surprisingly, this is the smaller of the 2. It's obviously big anyway, so that's going to be nice to have such a high capacity for all your feed mixing. It costs £70,500 and it requires 120 horsepower, 23,475 litres. And then we have the bigger one, the A950, as you can see, well detailed, very big and stuff. So yeah, obviously higher capacity, 29,393 litres. It also requires 145 horsepower and costs £115,000, so it is also quite a bit more expensive. Moving on to something a bit smaller, the RB580 bale wrapper. So just a single bale wrapper, this one. £19,500, and also you can customise the foil colour. Moving on to the RBM 2000. Now this one is actually very similar to the 2000 Pro, but it just can't pick up the silage wrapped bales. So it is simply just for round bales. You can't be doing the wrapped stuff. As you can see, you can customise between Trelleborg and Michelin, and it's £50,300. We then have this beast, the Stack Pro. This one clearly is for the square bales. The Stack Pro 7,200, 175 horsepower requirement and 16 bales. £89,000, and also if you want to change the wheels you can do for £90,500 in total. Something a little bit smaller here, we have the TSR 3450, and this is just a fairly small auto stacker. 14 bales, 130 horsepower requirement, £57,000, and of course simply just for the square bales. We then have the bumper and also the Biobaler, possibly my favourite thing so far which I've seen. This is the Yeah, the WB55 Anderson Biobaler, basically for creating bales of poplar. It requires 200 horsepower, 2,000 litre capacity, and yeah, it's 99,500 pounds plus the wide tyres, which puts it over 100,000 pounds. We then have the RBM Pro 2000, not to be confused with the RBM 2000, because it actually has the Pro in the middle, which means that it can pick up silage wrapped bales, round ones. So yeah, it's just not, it's a bit more advanced than a standard auto stacker. It can pick up 24 bales in total, 72,200 pounds, plus a bit more, 1,500 more if you want to have the Michelin tyres. Right, so let's first of all do a bit of biobaling. That should be good fun. As I've said, I'm going to be doing a stream hopefully later, and some more videos in the next couple of days. So we're going to be focusing on everything in much greater detail, but just for this video, because I want to keep it fairly short, we're just going to do a few minutes of each job. The two jobs which I've chosen are the biobaling and also the extractor work, which is wrapping up some grass bales to produce a tube of silage bales. Okay, right, let's get it hitched onto this tractor first of all, and we'll take it over to the poplar field, which I have already grown. So I'm very interested to actually use this. I have already seen it work, and no doubt you have too if you've watched the video uploaded by Giants. But yeah, just experiencing something for yourself is a bit different to watching a video of somebody else using it. So this should be quite interesting. So first I have got a piece here which was missed by the worker. So if I just, I think we're going to have to turn it on first. I'm assuming it's going to offset somehow. Yeah, you have to use the right mouse button. There we go. Let's put it alongside. And then lower it. There we go. And it is flattening and eating up the poplar. I don't think it even chops it, I think it's just wrapping it as it is. Right, just got to do a bit of tidying up first. I would have thought it's going to fill fairly quickly, so it's going to be putting out quite a few bales. Just get aligned first. Of course, you can change the offset to suit you. I might have it a bit too offset here. Yeah, let's just bring it a little bit closer to the tractor. Right, that's set up as it should be. So as you can see, it is just flattening it down and eating it up. Now, when I uploaded a video a few days ago about this, I had quite a few people say, can you use it with a worker? And obviously I had no idea because I'd never used it before. So let's take a look. It doesn't say hire a worker on here, but if I press H on the keyboard, no, it would appear you cannot use a worker. Nope, I would say not. It's certainly not doing anything. So no, you cannot use a worker as far as I'm aware. So the first bale is about to be produced. It is, well, about to be deposited, I should say. It's busy being produced. Work in progress. It does help to stay in a straight line, but it looks like it does have quite a bit of leeway. It's a good wide pickup, and each row of poplar is fairly narrow. Okay, so probably it's going to be full just after I get past the end. Yep. Okay, 98%. This should finish it off. There we go, 100%. Unloading the first poplar bale. So let's just take a look at this in a bit more detail. Because some people have said it's not wood chip, other people have said it is. I would say, looking at it, that it really has just flattened it, and it has produced a wrapped up poplar bale. So it's not been chopped as such. It's just been wound round. Interesting, very interesting to say the least. I'm assuming as well we can just pick this up with a bale spike and take it over to the sawmill. Anyway, let's do a bit more before we move on to the extractor. Like I say, yep, we're going to be doing some streaming of this, so I've got loads and loads of poplar to harvest. There is so much to do. Let's do this full row. We should be able to get it filled again before we get to the end, hopefully. Here comes bale number 2. So yeah, it does fill up fairly quickly, and this crop actually isn't fertilised, so it would be, well, depositing them on a very regular basis. Probably twice as often as this, because it's just such a bad crop that I've got here. I didn't put any work into fertilising it, so yeah, let's continue. Go for bale number 3. And there we go, the 3rd bale. So let's now go and try out the X-Tractor, but yeah, I'm impressed with that. That is a nice piece of kit. As we've already established, you can drive the X-Tractors, but they only do have a top speed of 3 miles per hour. The drive is primarily just to manoeuvre it rather than transport it long distances, so we're going to tow with the tractor. It will speed things up massively. Here's the wide range of different Anderson pieces of equipment. Yeah, so we're going to go and pick this one just here. The second one in. It is set to have the default foil colour, but yeah, you can just go to the workshop and change that. Right, so of course, to be able to put the bales into here, I need to use the Manitou or any other telehandler. I have the Manitou. So I just need to get a bale spike and I can start loading it. And what it will do is produce a long line of wrapped bales, all wrapped together. Now this is my field of grass bales. There's plenty in here. And obviously, yeah, you want to be setting it up exactly where you want to have the tube of bales. Now I'm not really too bothered, I'm just going to put a few here, since it is just for test purposes. In the end, I'm going to move most of my bales to another farm, but yeah, I've got plenty of space here to at least start things off. So we'll drop it off and move completely out of the way with the tractor. Just put it over here. And we'll start to load. Since this bale is the closest, I'll go for this. Right, so we'll take it over there, and it just has to be fed into the correct side, of course. And it should just start the wrapping process, and then it will just keep pushing them along and putting them together. So if I press X to unfold, you can see which way it's going to go. You have to load this side and it will unload this side, and it should gradually move as well at the same time. So yeah, there we go. Get into the Manitou, and then with a bit of luck, it will just accept it. And there we go. It's quite impressive actually that such a small single-cylinder petrol engine can do so much. I'm actually not too sure if it is just the wrapper it powers, but even so, it's still quite impressive, because it has to move the bales further down. Right, there we go, it's number 2. And yeah, we should just see that it's going to produce a long line. I don't know how big of a line you can produce. I don't know if you can just keep going forever. If you can, that's going to be very interesting because, well, I like to do weird things. We can have a line of bales going from one side of the map to another. That would be weird. Anyway, let's continue loading. I'll do quite a few. I think this time I'm going to show you a close-up of it moving everything down. So the moment the spike is removed, there we go, you should see that moves down, that rolls backwards, keeps wrapping it, and they really are all just wrapped together. There's no division between them. So when it comes to the end, it's assuming you want to finish there. If I just jump back into the Manitou to move it out of the way, you can see that if we go into here it says unload bales by pressing R insert. So there we go, it's now pushing it and it has deposited the line of bales off the back. You can then do whatever you want, fold it up, take it away, and we've now got these bales here. So when it comes to using these bales, just go up to them, and you can see it says cut open bale. There you go. So we now have a fermented silage bale. Now for the first time ever, this means that you can actually load up a fermented silage bale into a feed mixer without putting the wrap in too, because obviously you wouldn't put the plastic wrap into the mixer. That would be kind of weird. So because of this, we now have just a fermented bale. So that's going to add to the realism. So yeah, that can just be picked up, taken away, do whatever you want. Open them all up. They do ferment instantly. There's no time to ferment. So there we go. Fermented silage bales. So we're going to leave it there for this first video. Like I said, I've got loads of plans for the future. I want to do some streaming with all this kind of stuff. This isn't actually the correct field for me to be putting these in anyway because we're moving. But yeah, perfect for a demonstration. So there you go. I think it's a decent DLC. I've put a link down below for where you can buy it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.